Hello, everybody. Donna is telling me she just has made a pot of soup. So we're going to make quick work of this so I can go have a bowl of soup. Lesson 27 of the Foundation series. I've been fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting the sound system today. Microsoft updated the operating system, which caused both the broadcast software and the camera software to lose their minds, and I've rebooted 10,000 times. I think I have the problem solved, and so you'll let me know as you're logging in how the sound is. We had copy, close. I'm going to go post it on our website. The website is jollyrogerukulele.com, and paste. It's just been quite a week so far, and so we've had some horrible news here in Colorado, which is horrible news around the world, and we're just here to play a little bit of music and then go about our day. And so we'll stay focused in on our job here, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's go to there. As you're logging in, please let me know if the sound is any good. The current delay that we are operating on YouTube is about a 45-second delay, and so when I say something, sound is a little low meaning low pitch, or low meaning quiet. That's important to know the difference. Hi Donna, welcome in. Let me know the sound. Am I speaking at a normal pitch, but the volume is low? Because I can definitely fix the pitch. I can't fix the pitch. I can definitely fix the volume. Well, let me put some gain on that. Okay. Let me crank up the volume just a little bit here. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to do 4 decibel increase. All right, now let me know now. It's quiet. Okay. Quiet's not a problem. Low, as in pitch, is a problem. Let me know if that gave you enough volume there, Vic. I added about 4 decibels to that. Should be getting a little louder. Vic has been with me trying to problem solve all these horrible sounds today. Happy to be able to join live. Yay! I'm glad to have you, Pam. Good to be here. Good to have you here. I hope that our sound you should good. I should good. I sound good is what she means. All right, so we sounding okay. I had to completely shut down and reboot and reinstall the camera software. I've had to again dig into the bowels of this broadcasting software. YouTube is just the only thing they're doing crazy is making sure that we are delayed by a shocking amount of time, and so I am about 45 seconds ahead of you in time. All right, I'm gonna adjust the volume to 5 decibels, close, and that will get my microphone hitting there. And all right, so now we're peaking. Should be okay. Even better now. Sound is good. Sound now is good volume wise. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay, so we had pitch problems, we've had volume problems, we've had every possible problem. We had a terrible week, and we're gonna make today happen. We're gonna just pretend none of that happened. We're gonna just play. We're gonna play this piece of music today. I'm gonna adjust my face just a little bit here, and that's where I want to be. And this is tell you, usually I don't have to dig into the Vietnamese coffee until 2 o'clock, and I'm already in it at 12 o'clock, so that tells you the kind of day we got going on. But Donna says she put a pot of soup on, and that means that it's going to be, the day's looking up. All right, today, guys, Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to lesson 27. Now, I want you to put a little pin in that, okay? Because there's technically 30 lessons in the Foundation series. There's really only 29. Lesson 30 is for you to think about what you've done, and lessons 1 through 8 are all one lesson. So we have crammed all of this stuff into, what amounts to about 20 lessons, and the one thing I have never learned how to do is, once my thing is messed up, how to think about how to fix it. It's a spatial conundrum, honestly. How to fix these things once they get out of whack. Let's see, that made it much worse. Let's go the other direction. And all right, sooner or later, I'm just going to give up, right? I'm just going to throw in the towel. No, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. What I want is it to be right here, and then this goes nya, this goes here. There, now we've solved it. All right. You know how some people, you have spatial awareness, right? That's one of the intelligences, is spatial awareness. Like, you can see how things are going to be in the future. Like when you go buy a house, some people can look past the fixer-upper part of it to see what's there, and some people can't. I cannot figure out how. I'm okay with it until it comes to guitar straps, and it's like, I don't understand what's going on here. All right, Janice, you're right on time. We haven't started with anything. Link on web page to link on the web page to join. Do I not have that there? Let me go there. Scroll down. Oh, I know why, Vic. I moved the 12 o'clock stuff down below the 1 o'clock stuff. So you got to scroll down a little further. That's why you're not finding it. Yes, it's there, but you got to go down. I moved that down to the second section. What I wanted, I rearranged the website just slightly last night. I wanted people, when they come into the website, are overwhelmed by the amount of text that is on it. So I'm trying to get a little more graphically focused. And so theoretically, when you come into the website now, at the top of the page, I have a link for guitar, harmonica, foundations for ukulele, tougher ukulele, and orchestra. So you should just go to the front page, click on foundations, and it magically scrolls down to the correct spot on the web page so that you can then find your way here. So whatever class you're after, it will just magically transport you to the part of the page that you need to look at. The front page of Jolly Roger has been since day one sort of out of control, and I'm trying to find a way to make it a little bit graphically more navigatable. So yeah, all I did was take the 12 o'clock stuff and move it below the 1 o'clock stuff. I want the 1 o'clock stuff on top because it's the fancy stuff, right? I want people to come in and be like, whoa, I'd like to learn how to play Molly Malone. All right, let's see. All right, link to the web. Okay, Donna says we are relaxing by playing key of F major. yeah. Well, Linda made it in from Carl Springs. I see it now. Thanks. Mary's in. All right, so we're going to relax and we're going to play the key of F arpeggio today, and of the 3 arpeggios that we tackle in the intro class, the foundations class that you guys are in, this is by far the hardest one. And so I do want to talk about the issues that come up. At the end of the day, it's not that much harder than the other ones, except the bar chords are brutal. And so I want you to just be patient and kind with yourself. And as we've talked about before, when you get to bar chords and they sound like this, I want you to be okay with that. I want you to say to yourself, Gary says this is fine, okay? And it is fine, because one day they come in, but it's not today necessarily, and so you're going to be super patient with yourself. So let's grab the F major ukulele version. Baritone players, as you know at this point, you're sitting in paying attention to the lesson, because the exact same thing applies to your instrument when we get there. The only difference is when I'm playing, you'll be out of tune. And so you are thinking you can have a couple of choices here. One, learn your baritone chords on the ukulele sheet. So you have an F chord, and you have your D minor on here, and you have your B flat on here, and you have your C chord on here, and that's, I think, if I remember right, it's just those 4 chords. And then that way you strum along with us. Oh, there's a C7 over there that you just add your ring finger on. But so baritone players, you are thinking, I got to learn my chords, and I also want to learn the lesson here. And you guys are comfy with that at this point. 77 degrees and sunny in Florida today. Nancy's having a decent day down there in Florida. Let's walk our way through this whole thing. You know how arpeggios work at this point, so let's just talk about how I would tackle this one. You've got your F chord on here. Okay, baritone players, it'll be a C chord. It's the first thing is 2 0 1 0, so you're just going to pluck everybody. And then 2 0 1, that's thumb, index, and middle, right? You're already holding down those numbers. And then you pluck it twice. Pay attention on the standard notation. Those dots with the hole in the middle, those are half notes, and so they're twice as long as quarter notes, so hit those. Your next chord is a D minor. Add your ring finger on, okay? Baritone players, this will be your A minor, and then you just pluck in the same exact pattern. Now, yesterday we talked about B flat, and B flat kind of is one of those chords that tends to take newer players out. They're just like, I hate B flat. I'm never going to play a song with a B flat in it. I am out. And so I don't want you to think like that, okay? B flat, you put a bar here. Take your A shape, or baritones, that's your E shape, slide it up 1 and put a bar there, and it's going to sound like this, right? Just let it sound like that. I promise it's okay. Michelle made it in from Rockaway Beach. It's sunny there. I think of a better place to be. It's sunny in Oregon. We're actually having snow coming down outside right at the moment. I didn't know it was going to snow today. Valerie made it in. Hey, Valerie, you have been MIA. I'm glad you're here. Delighted to have you. Stops in on the F major arpeggio. She's like, yeah, guess I'll check in. Hardest day of the foundation class. B flat, put it on. A shape in front. Put your bar on, and then pluck it. Thumb index middle, and then pluck it twice. Now here's one of the lessons from this arpeggio. Don't pick it up and replace your C. Just slide it up two frets. So you're here. Here's your A. You slide it up 1 and put your bar on. You got a B flat. You slide it up to 3. Bar on 3. A shape in front. You have a C. Linda's like, I found you. Yeah, I did rearrange the front page of the website a little bit, and I know it's throwing people off. I apologize. I was trying to be helpful. We get in these patterns, right? You're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I go to the website, scroll down, boom. And I rearranged the 2 blocks. I put the later block on top of the foundations block, and so sorry. Sorry. I don't know, man. Everything's been hard this week. All right, so the big takeaway so far, measure 5 B flat shape, okay, and let it be terrible. Slide it up. That's the other piece of learning. Okay, there's that. And then now when we get to measure 9, it'll be the same exact chords, but just a different right hand pattern. Okay, so measure 9, put your F chord on, and then you pluck everybody. And now instead of thumb, index, middle, we're going to do middle, index, thumb. Measure 11, you got your D minor. Okay. Oh, it's so funny. Linda Harrison logged in. I assumed it was Linda Robinson. Linda, I'm glad. Both Lindas, all Lindas, I'm very delighted to have you here today. Measure 13, you put that B flat on again. Again, I recommend a full bar here. You will get away if you want just to do an index finger over the first two strings. Some people find that easier. That's the way I was trained to do a B flat way back in the day. I don't think it's a great idea. I think a full bar is a better idea. So grab your B flat at measure 13, same pattern, go. Measure 15, slide up, same pattern. Now this next line looks horrible, but it's not. I don't want you to get that in your head. Measure 17, all you're going to do is take your bar, put it on 5, your middle finger, your ring finger is up on 7, and you're going to pull this off for the moment. Okay? So you got a bar and ring finger. Here's what you're thinking. Here's my A minor. If I move it up to 2, it becomes a B minor. If I move it up to 3, it becomes a C minor. And if I move it up to 5, it becomes a D minor. Now, again, we talk about this all the time. You guys are pursuing a way of playing this instrument that's much more difficult than just learning to strum and sing. If you are a singer and you see on your sheet music it says D minor, you're going to play this every single time. Okay? But in instrumental music, oftentimes the melody is going to start creeping up the fretboard, and you've got to find some of your chords further up the neck. So this D minor is also hanging out right here on bar 5 with your ring finger up here on top. Okay? D minor, D minor. It's the same chord. This one has a slightly higher pitch, obviously, because you're further up the fretboard. Just as on piano, if you play a chord here, the same chord's hanging out up here. It's just a little higher pitched, and so you have all this. The same chords show up all over the place on a piano fretboard, keyboard, and same thing with guitar. Or what is in my hand? Same thing is with ukulele. You got a D minor here, got a D minor here, okay, and so on. Several others on this fretboard. We don't want to worry about them too much. They don't come up that much. D minor. Okay. So at measure 17, you've got your D minor on. You're going to pluck 4 times. Measure 18. Take your middle finger, add it on to the second string right in front of your bar in fret 6. Take just a moment to celebrate something. You have B flat down here, which all of us hate. The problem with this B flat, you're right up against the nut. It's kind of hard to play. Okay? But now you also have a B flat up on 5 with the F shape in front. Okay? B flat, B flat. Okay? So measure 18, bar on 5. F shape in front. You baritone players, that'll be your C shape. Right in front. Knock out 4 of those. Measure 19. Just lift up your middle finger. Measure 20. Put it back down. Measure 21. Pick it up. Go on to page 2. Put it back down. Then here's where things remember how we did not lift up to slide from B flat to C. I don't want you to lift up. I want you to slide straight back to the 3rd fret, and then your middle finger comes up 1 string. Okay, so the motion is back, middle finger up, starting here, back, middle finger up, and now you're back on the C chord. And then measure 24, grab your F chord. Baritones, you'll be grabbing a C chord and just 2 glissando strums. Okay, beautiful. Okay, that's the hard part of this song. Everything else is going to make sense to you, but that little section there is pretty rough. All those bar chords, part of the reason I used to teach this thing second because it's just a nice order. I preferred having the key of F earlier in the class, but because of this piece of sheet music, I've moved this to the end of the class. And the other takeaway from here is hopefully at this point you're so comfortable making mistakes you don't really care, and hopefully you were at a point where you're not losing too much sleep over crummy bar chords. Okay, bar chords are going to take a while. You got to build your strength in your hand, and so at this point, this piece of music, the fascinating thing about it is that 2 of the 3 of the major shapes that we use with bar chords, this A shape, where that shows up in this piece, and then the F shape shows up in this piece as well. And so the only one that doesn't show up in here is this F chord, okay, which is a bar in here with a C shape in front. So this piece of music has a whole bunch of the bars that you're going to be needing to use on a daily basis going forward anyway. So it's one of those things where I don't lose sleep over it. If it's hard, it should be hard. And if it's not hard for you, you're like, well, congratulations. Your bar chords are coming along just fine. But bar chords are challenging. All right, measure 25, new section. Play some melody. Let's do that. Ready? Play. 1, 1, 3, oh, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, oh. A little strum here. Measure 29. 1, 1, 1, 3, oh. B flat shape. 3, 2, 1, 1. A nice C7 strum. Oh, oh, oh. Now put your F chord on, 4 plex. Then we go all the way back to the top. Let's go through and finish the song out, and then we'll just play it one time through from top to bottom. Linda, that makes me laugh. You can't hide. I found you. I have used my resources. All right, 33, measure 33. Grab your F chord, thumb index, middle index. Again. Put your D minor on, same pattern, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. Put your B flat on, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. Put your C chord, regular C chord, 3, bunch of zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is more surprisingly challenging. 2-beat F chord, a 2-beat D minor, a 2-beat B flat, 2 beats of C, and then F. Let that ring until your ukulele dies out. Okay, that's the song. When you play this song, and I just made it go away, come back here, which we'll do on Friday. You'll play down through 32. We'll go back. We'll play it again. Okay. Today we're just covering how to play it, and then obviously on Friday. Friday is your day, right? You guys have figured that out. Friday is the day when you want to have your music together. We play down through 32. We go back and play the whole song again, and then 33 to the end is just played one time. Okay. Let's give it a try. I'm going to play as slow as I can play. When you get down to all those bar chords, just remember that's going to stay, that bar 5 stays there through that whole section from 17 all the way until you need to drop down to get your C chord at 23. So just plant your bar and let whatever sounds come out of your ukulele happen. Okay? From the top, grab your F chord. Baritone players, if you want to just strum 4 beats per measure with these chords, it'll work out great. And then we'll play your part next. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. To D minor. Put your B flat on. Slide up to 3. Go back to your F chord, new pattern. Put your D minor on. flat. Slide up to this third fret. Middle finger up. I'm sorry, and then slide up to 5. Add your middle finger on the second string. Take it off. Put it back on. Take it off. Put it back on page 2. Slide down to the 3rd fret, raise your middle finger up 1 string. Major 24, strum. Okay, now some melody. You made it through the tough part. Let's play it. Strum, major 29, B flat, strum, F chord. On Friday we will repeat there. Today we'll keep going forward at measure 33. Go. Flat, C chord, F chord, D minor, B flat, 0, F chord. Okay, let it roll out. That fermata on the end says, hey, I'm going to let that ring out. Okay? So, by far, I think by far the hardest piece in foundations, and one of those pieces where there isn't anything on here you're not going to use pretty much on a daily basis as a ukulele instrumentalist. And so this is a great piece to be building your hand strength, getting your bar chords as good as you can. For, you know, it does take a while to build up the process of getting your bar chords on correctly. And guys, that process never ends. I'm almost 20 years into this instrument, and still on a regular basis I'm like, oh gosh, there's that stupid bar chord. This one, I had to do that one last night, bar on 2, at that exact shape that we've been doing with your D minor. I was doing it down here with a B minor, and I had to put my pinky there. Right? And so it doesn't go away, and it's always a little bit of a like, oh boy, here we go. It's what brings joy to your music, is when a bar chord finally goes well. Rob finally made it in. He's been out back. He's been out hiding under the bleachers, smooching with somebody. It's good to have you in, Rob. I think that's what I have to tell you about the F major arpeggio. And again, guys, just make sure you're clear. You have been you've been taking about 20 ukulele lessons, and I'm dropping you into a piece of music like that. If you're struggling with that, you should be struggling with that, and it does get better. You just got to keep at it, and you've got a good solid toolbox that you're bringing to this, and I would not lose a ton of sleep if you're like, gosh, that's just not going all that well for me. I wouldn't lose any sleep over that, because it's a pretty advanced level piece of music. I will play it for you before we get out of here today at full speed, so you can get a sense of it. You can see it's set for 140, so it's supposed to be pretty fast. And of course, when we're learning how to play something, we don't play it anywhere near full speed. Frankly, I play very little stuff at full speed. I think speed is one of those things that gets you famous on YouTube, but it is highly overrated as a musical skill in terms of You know, if you want people to jam out to your music, you play fast. But if you want to be a great musician, you want every single note, every single thing that you're doing to be handed out with love. And in order to do that, I think playing a little bit slowly, just slightly under the speed you think you should do it, I think is a smart tool for you. Let's grab the baritone version of this. That's a baritone players, your arpeggiator in C. And baritone players, you have figured out that C major is a whole lot better than F major. But you still will have your F show up in here. All right, same exact skill set for baritone players. We'll get your right hand all set up correctly. Ukulele players, these are your chords. These are the ones you like to play. C chord, A minor, F, G, and I think there's a G7 in here somewhere. Yeah, G7 is also in there. So let's give this a try. Let's see how we sound together from the top. Baritone players, same exact skills. Okay, just about the same speed. We'll ignore that repeat when we get down to the bottom. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 5, F chord. Slide up. Measure 13. Bar on 5, ring on 7. Add your middle finger, second string. Take it off. Put it on. Take it off. Put it on. Slide back to 3. Put the E shape for you baritone players on. Play that. And then your C shape. Forgot that. It's supposed to glissando. The melody at measure 25. Beats. Go ahead and ignore the repeat. Keep going. A minor, F chord, G chord, and C chord. Let it ring. Don't let off your chord until it's completely rung out. All right, so you get a sense of how the music goes. That's playing at about 80 or so. It's supposed to be 140, so I'd like to go through and play it real quick at a higher rate of speed. Baritone players, hold on for the ride. Do what you can. If you get completely blown out, you switch over to chords, right? Ukulele players, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So strum, 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 strum. You're checking when we do this, you are checking, do I know my C chord? Do I know my A minor chord? Do I know my F chord? Do I know my G chord? Do I know my G7 chord? Those are all chords that go all the way back to Waltzing Matilda. And so your job is to give me 4 good solid beats of each of those chords. And if that's too much, give me just the first one. C chord, 2, 3, 4. C chord, 2, 3, 4. A minor, 2, 3, 4, right? Give me some type of chording. Together we're going to sound great. If you're feeling like you're feeling spunky and you got this thing, give me an arpeggio pattern. C, 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 A minor, 2, 3, 4. As long as you give me 4 beats per measure, I want to play it quite a bit faster. We'll ignore the repeat again. On Friday, we will not ignore the repeat. So be ready for that on Friday. But let's play through it at full speed, see how we do. Baritone players, if you can play the baritone line, that's awesome. If it gets going too fast, just switch up and play chords with the ukulele players. It will sound amazing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? I've told you guys this a number of times, but it bears repeating. When I wrote these arpeggios, I was teaching myself how to play ukulele. Back in those days, they didn't have any good books. There's still hardly any good ukulele books, but back in those days, there really was nothing. And so I was having to teach myself off of old Tin Pan Alley sheet music and all this stuff. There's no reasonably good ukulele system out there at all to teach you how to play instrumentally. There's, to this day, there's my system, and there's a couple others that are not horrible, and that's about it. And so my goal with this was, hey, I want to play every single chord in as many of the rational positions on the neck as possible. I don't want to be afraid of bar chords anymore, so I am going to be working on those. I want to get my right hand where sometimes it goes this way and sometimes it goes this way. Sometimes it's plucking, sometimes it's strumming, and sometimes I'm using my index finger up and down. And the whole idea here was for me to play at the highest level that I could possibly get to at the time. Now, I had a ton of piano background, so those of you guys that are newer to music, you should know this is tough. This is hard stuff. Those of you with a little bit of music background, you're like, yeah, this is sort of feeling like what we've done with all the other things. But give yourself a lot of latitude to know that, hey, man, Gary was purposely trying to make ukulele challenging without being ridiculous. And in modern music, we sort of go through this system of I'm going to learn how to play, then I'm going to play these challenging pieces, and then I'm going to go play the stuff that sounds horrible, that's ridiculous, right? And so I wanted a good straight right down the middle passage, something beyond beginner, but definitely a pretty high up there, right before you get to the point where you're like, I know, I'm going to start adding in tone sounds that don't sound great. I wanted it to sound good. I wanted it to sound like a song. I wanted to learn a lot from it. I wanted to talk myself into using my hand in all these different manners, and it worked. It was a very effective system for me to get to the level of ukulele playing where I can play anything, and that's where I want to get you guys to as well. Is, hey, in the beginning is a pretty heavy climb, right? It's a pretty heavy climb. We started at My Spaghetti Monster, F Arppegiator, and now we're here, right? It's a pretty high speed climb. And on Friday we're going to play it again, so spend a little bit of time on it this week. Make sure that the questions that come up, that's what we have the chat bar for here, is to give you a little bit of time to log in and say, Gary, I'm struggling with this, or this doesn't make sense, or should I do this, or whatever. Always feel free to ask questions. If it's not convenient to use the chat bar and you want to toss me an email, that's fine. I am always like wildly perpetually behind on email, and so just know that I can't. I guess I should be honest and say sometimes I just can't get back to you, but I definitely read them all. And when you get comfy with this type of playing, this is the way you're going to want to play. I really feel like that. I have every now and then I'll have a student be like, yeah, you know what, I'm going back to strumming and singing. But usually they're pretty good singers, right? And they don't necessarily need this way of playing. Those of us who are not really just gaga over singing, this is the way you want to play. The nice part is we're getting enough pieces of sheet music instantly available on the website where you could literally grab a piece of music every single day and just play and play that piece of music for the day. You'd have a wonderful, do your crossword puzzle, then play a piece of music off of Gary's website, and then go about your day. I think that would be a good way to live your life, honestly. And every day, not every day, but a lot of days, there's new music sitting on there. And so, all right, guys, hope you're having a wonderful day. Tomorrow, I gotta put a different thing back there. Tomorrow we are remember I did rearrange the website just a little bit. If you go to the front page, at the very top it says Foundations for Ukulele, and if you click on that, it'll drop you right down into the section that we're talking about. Tomorrow is Aloha Oi. Those of you guys who don't know it, it's a fond embrace, ba 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 bum bum bum, until we meet again. It's a real ukulele song written by a real Hawaiian queen. When ukuleles were brand new, the new idea, and what I have arranged there is not necessarily Hawaiian approved, but it's from a 1910 piece of sheet music, so it's as close to the original as I could possibly get it for you. It's kind of hard to play, but it's also really beautiful, and it gives you a chance to play. We only have a couple of pieces of repertoire on ukulele that are actually ours, that we actually own, and that's one of those songs. Those of you who like Elvis will remember he played that song in Blue Hawaii. So that's what's tomorrow. Pretty challenging piece. It is a stretch piece. And then Thursday is Scarborough Fair, and that, of course, you probably know it from Simon and Garfunkel, but it's a much older song than that, and that's another stretch piece. So this piece, the next piece, and the next piece are all sort of designed to purposely push you just a little bit and say, hey, how we doing on this? Whether you can play these pieces of music or not isn't really important. If you know what you're supposed to do, that is important. And if you're staring at it going, I have no idea what he's doing, then that's where we get concerned, right? So so that's what we're doing tomorrow. Aloha Oi, taking us to the Hawaiian Islands, and then in Thursday we'll go to 1633 and we'll play Scarborough Fair, a little bit of loop music for you, and there we are. That's what I know. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. baritone's not doing so well. And let's see, where did I leave off? Vic says it sounds beautiful, nice, beautiful. Well, I hope I'm in tune. We've been fighting that all day today, and I think I finally found all of the buttons and settings on my software to fix all that. And good. Michelle says it's nice. Nancy, good. My last trombone chair from 50 years ago. It's not helping a lot right now. Well, trombone, right? One note at a time. This note, this note, this note, this note, this note. Yeah, heck yeah. It's helping you a little bit. It's going to help you a little bit. It's definitely a way different instrument than the one you're playing right now, Rob. Jan, it's hard, but you have to make difficult uke your friend. Make difficult uke your friend. Make tough uke your friend. You don't have to play every song that way, and as you guys know, every piece of music almost that I hand out, you can play in 4 different ways, and you'll find your ways, right? You'll find your ways, and over time what will happen is you'll become increasingly fascinated with this idea of making that go that way. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Linda, I'm still not sure my thumb is in the correct. Now when we talk thumb in the correct position, let me save my baritone. When we talk about thumb in the correct position, this thumb is either on the top of this string or the top of this string almost always, right? That's almost always where that one is. This thumb, the pad of your thumb is on the back of the neck. Let me pull up my screen so I can make sure you can see what I'm talking about. This thumb is right here. The camera is backwards. So this one, the thumb runs up and down the neck, just like that. It never changes. It's always doing this thing, and it's always hanging out behind your middle finger. So wherever your middle finger is, that's where your thumb is. What you don't want to do, you do not want to lay your thumb sideways. Okay, you do not want to play your thumb on the tip of the thumb, right? Because then you're creating a whole bunch of tension at your thumb knuckle. You don't want that. You want the pad of the thumb there. It should be perpendicular to the neck. In other words, your thumb should basically be coming straight down. And you don't want it up here. Okay, that's going to make life harder. Sometimes it'll be a little bit lower on the neck. Sometimes it'll be a little bit up on the neck. You see when I played, mine's hanging out here most of the time. But basically it's right here. When I get into serious bar chords, man, it is dead locked on right there. That's where your thumb is. Okay, from the front it just looks like that. All the way up and down. And I promise, if there's one thing you can do to make your life easier, is get your thumb behaviors correct. Because if it's too high, then your fingers have to tense up to make your chords. If it's flat like this, then again your hand is in these tortured positions. I have little kids, sometimes they'll put it down below there, and then their hands are really in tortured position. The other thing to pay attention to, and we don't talk about this often because it happens magically. Let me put this over my neck. If my thumb is in correct position and I'm playing along, it's hanging out behind the middle finger, right? Everything's lovely, right? And notice the other thing that's happening. This is in a nice, straight, easy to get along with position. It's not here, it's not out here, not doing a backwards thing, none of that, right? It's impossible to do that if your thumb is doing it correctly. It magically puts your wrist and forearm in a nice straight position. It's a little weird with the affect of the camera, but basically my back of my hand and back of my hand and my forearm are in a straight line here because my thumb is in the correct position. Even when I grab a bar chord, look at how straight my arm stays, okay? If I grab a C chord, okay, a little bit back, but you know, okay. And so that's something to pay attention to. If you can get, that's why I'm such a nut about it on day one. If I can get you to just do your thumb right from the beginning, we don't have to talk about all this other stuff. And so yeah, I do think, Glenn says, I'm still not sure about my thumb. That's important. Okay, awesome. Pele. Oh, hey, Pele, I didn't know you were here. I've been here most of the time. Good to see you, Pele. Pele is from Hawaii, and I have to make sure Aloha Oi tomorrow is approved by her. So, Rob, I'm liking the uke more every day. Every day. I've been on it 18, 19 years now, and I still am convinced that this should be issued to every single human being when they're born. Here's your ukulele. It's the greatest thing ever. That's what I think. Thanks, everyone. Been in tune for this class. Yeah, I know. Thanks for poor Vic. She had to put up with me out of tune in guitar and then out of tune again in harmonica. So those videos have all been deleted. They never happened. None of that ever happened, guys. And thanks for being here, everybody. And Mary says, click on thumbs up. Oh yeah, speaking of thumbs up, give me a thumbs up on this video. What happens is eventually Jeff Bezos comes to my house and I have dinner with him. So that's what the thumbs up gets you. Let's see, Paley says, I've been alternating between uke and baritone uke, and I love both, but I think I'll stick to the baritone uke in the ukulele orchestra. I think that's a great idea, Paley. You know how good you are at playing that instrument, and obviously I love having more baritones well, I like having a lot of baritones around, period, you know. I still think ukulele is the one you want to learn on, but once you get the basic concepts down, I think then grabbing a baritone just to aggravate yourself a little bit is a good idea. All right, guys, I'm going to pull the plug. I'll see some of you next hour. And next hour, we got a couple of, we have a new arpeggio over there, and then we're going to play America the Beautiful. So there we go. Have a great afternoon, everybody. I'll see some of you next hour, and I'll see the rest of you tomorrow.